Elly De La Cruz is making history left and right, and he did it again last night. He passed the Red speedster Billy Hamilton with a stolen base record. Anthony Rendon is finally back in the Halos lineup, and Mike Trout, he's almost back as well. Can the Halos shock everyone? Can they capture lightning in a bottle? Can Anthony Rendon save his career? The other Cruz, O'Neal Cruz, he nearly hit a baseball out of PNC Park, but was it enough to hold off the Mets and the Twins? They have yet another rookie making some noise. Brooks Lee legit cannot get out to begin his career. So we're going to talk about all of that and more in today's MLB Recap. And don't forget, Recap is brought to you by SeatGeek. Save yourself $20 off all of your tickets using code Fuzzy. And if you like daily fantasy sports, download Underdog Fantasy using my code Fuzzy. They'll give you a $250 bonus cash credit, a free pick'em, a Gunnar Henderson special for the Home Run Derby. It's a lot of fun. And make sure you guys stay until the end because there's a brand new baseball game. It's called Batter Up. You have to guess the batting stance. They also have a pitcher version, so check this one out and then stay tuned until the end. We'll try and guess it. The Reds were taking on the Rockies, and Elly De La Cruz got the news that he is a first-time All-Star, and honestly, I was kind of shocked that he was not a finalist in the voting. So he gets on, he steals second base on a throwback to the pitcher. I've seen guys try and do that when they're stealing home, but first to second is rare. Elly, he then took off for third base, and that's history. He has 45 stolen bases before the All-Star break. He's the first Red to ever do that, which is incredible considering they've had guys like Eric Davis, Billy Hamilton. Elly, he's on pace for 27 home runs, 80 stolen bases, 14 outs above average defensively, and then they tried to get cute, and Colorado played it perfectly. Elly, he's out on the double steal. The inning's over. We're going to skip to the fourth. Elly's on third again. The bases are juiced. Tyler Stevenson, he bounced into a double play, so Elly scores, but there's no RBI on a double play. Colorado then gave Cincinnati a run that I haven't seen since probably Little League, a bad throw to the pitcher, or maybe it was just lazy effort by Ryan Feltner. Either way, a run scores. Rookie Rhys Hines, he socked his first career base hit. He made it a double. He was my first ever autograph pull from a box of Bowman cards, so I've been rooting for him for years. Don't go anywhere because he hit a baseball 450 feet, but real quick, we have to talk about the starter for the Reds, Andrew Abbott. 8 strikeouts over 7 shutout. He has a 2.9 ERA over his last 12 starts, so he's been really locked in. And there it is, 450 feet in your debut. Have yourself a day. To the second deck he goes. Rhys Hines is going to be a problem if he doesn't strike out 30% of the time. Elly ripped an RBI double to score Will Benson, and then they tried to pick off Elly, so that is a free advance to third base. Elly scores on the tapper, so that time he tries home, and it does actually work. The Reds, they win easy, a double play to end it. The Rockies are just not a very good team. They have spurts of showing how good they can be, but consistency, I don't know if they're ever going to find it. St. Louis said, let me have some of that in terms of the box score. They copy and pasted what just happened. CJ Abrams, who by the way is the All-Star for the Nationals, he belted one, but check out Michael Ciani with the Gold Glove defense. I don't know if he's going to win, but he already has 12 outs above average, and that's before the All-Star break. More defense, the rookie James Wood, he used that world-class sprinter speed in the 6'7" frame to make a nice sliding grab in left field. Ciani, he wanted another one. Miles Michaelis, the starter for the Cardinals, he owes this guy dinner for the next week, and I'm not going to lie, Ciani kind of reminds me of Grady Sizemore defensively. St. Louis, they got their first run on some bad Washington defense. CJ had his first of 2 errors. Gorman, he can just walk home. Goldie, he belted one, his 12th of the year, but he's still only hitting 229 with a paltry 87 OPS plus. Miles Michaelis, he went 6+ innings for the 12th time this year, so even if he gets lit up, he's probably going to go 6-7 innings. This time he went 6 1/3 shutout. Burleson, he blew a kiss. I don't know who he blew a kiss to, but he's hitting 299 with 12 home runs and 33 RBIs his last 55 games. Washington's defense handed the Cardinals another run. As CJ, he booted a Goldie ground ball moments before Jacob Young just missed a diving catch. Make it 35 RBIs over his last 55 for Alec Burleson. Alec Burleson and Brendan Donovan have been putting the team on their back ever since Arenado and Goldie have kind of fallen off the wagon. Both Arenado and Goldie have an OPS plus below 100, which means that they've been below average this year, and it seems like Mother Nature is coming up quick, so good for those guys for carrying the Cardinals offense this year. This next game is the final shutout. I promise with you guys, both pitchers, they decided to lock in for a pitching duel because their strikeout stuff and defense really showed up. Rocchio, he still made that play. He recovered after booting it, and he had the cannon to nab Javier Baez. And check this out, another web gem, Angel Martinez. By the way, he has 8 walks to 2 strikeouts in his first 27 plate appearances. He can play multiple positions, so for my fantasy people, Angel Martinez might be a sneaky pickup. Now it's time for the Tigers to make a sick play. Urshela, he snags it at first base. He flips it to the rookie, Keider Montero, who was very, very good. He and Gavin Williams, they both struck out 4 or 5 guys over 5+ shutout. And Gavin, he was pumping 98, 99 all game, which is awesome because he had a UCL scare to begin the season. And if Montero wasn't so good, these web gems would have been much more fun for me, a Guardians fan. Andres with the full-blown extension dive. Okay, here we go. Wencel Perez, he went back up the middle. There has to be some scoring soon, right? Jake Rogers had a double, so he's at third. Wencel got a little bit greedy, so he's thrown out at second base. That is a big timeout, and they walked Colt Keith to set up a double play. They got their ground ball, and Brian Rocchio whiffed it. The Tigers go up by 1. Cleveland fans were overreacting, in my opinion, because the kid has 6 defensive run saves and 2 outs above average. He's playing pretty good shortstop in terms of defense. It happens. People make mistakes. Shelby Miller closed it out for the save, and again, sometimes you just have to tip your cap. Rookie Keider Montero went 6 1/3 shutout on 73 pitches, only 3 base hits allowed. This is the first of 4 games coming up between the Tigers and the Guardians, so this is a very important series. Cleveland fans got to put on their White Sox hats and cross their fingers that they can get some help from the White Sox versus the surging Minnesota Twins. We had some solo home runs, Trevor Larnach and Martin the Machete Maldonado. They traded 4 bases. Martin now has 3 home runs and 10 RBIs on the season. 2 home runs and 5 RBIs have come over the last 3 days. After that, both teams, they decided to keep on copying each other. Byron Buxton, he cannot get out versus Chris Flexen. I think he's like hitting 800 versus this guy after this base hit. They should have just walked him. The Sox, they answer with an RBI double of their own off the bat of Corey Julks, and now they're winning. Eloy's RBI takes the lead, and they tacked on with an RBI from Nicky Lopez, and ultimately ended up 5-2 after Minnesota made an error. But here comes the Twins. The Twins offense / bullpen is loaded, and you can never count them out, especially now that they have rookie Brooks Lee. He's been incredible. That is 6 consecutive games with a base hit to begin his career. Matt Wallner, he rifled a 2-run home run. That thing was at 116 miles an hour. Correa, I'm so happy that he's healthy because that fastball to the hand could have been an issue, but he's back, he's raking, and by the way, he's an all-star. Minnesota, they reclaimed the lead for all of like 3 minutes when this happened. Nicky Lopez with a swing straight out of Battle Royale and MLB The Show. Controllers would be snapping if that happened against me. His RBI double forces extra. Brooks Lee, this kid's stance looks like a 1970s ball player, but it works. He has 11 base hits and 8 RBIs in his first 6 big league games. The Twins added another insurance run on a Manuel Margot RBI ground out, and the Twins, they went 8-6, so they do gain a game on the Guardians. They're now just 5 games back after winning their 3rd in a row. We have an MLB debut, and forgive me if I botched this name. This is Gilbert Diaz. He had 105 strikeouts in 76 innings this year in the Diamondbacks minor league system, and I can tell why. Now, he did get some help from the umpire, but 98 outside. It was paint, but not really because it was outside. Now, this one wasn't even a bad pitch. This is the difference between the big leagues and AA and AAA. There's no Austin Riley. I mean, unless you're talking about Kobe Mayo of the Orioles. That guy's going to be insane. But there's no one like that in the minor leagues, and I don't know how he got his hands inside a 97 fastball to go 430 feet. Shout out to Gilbert, though. Again, if I'm botching that, I'm sorry. That was all he gave up. There's a fastball to get Jared Kelenic. Riley's up again. He got him to chase and dribble out to end the 3rd inning. Now he skipped to the 6th. More payback versus Riley. That 97 fastball combined with an 83-mile-per-hour slider is just disgusting. He walked Matt Olson, so runners are now at 1st and 2nd for the RBI machine, Marcell Ozuna. He thought he was going to get a fastball. He froze him on an outside slider. Diaz goes 6 innings with 5 strikeouts, only 1 walk. That is a very impressive big league debut, and now he's in line for the W. Corbin, he tied it on an RBI single, and after a 4-pitch walk, it's 2-1 Arizona, make it 3-1. Lourdes, he skied one after Christian Walker took that bases-loaded walk. All Paul Sewald has to do is get the final 3 outs, which has not been easy lately, but he does get the first 2 out with ease. But then Eddie Rosario singled. Yes, Eddie Rosario, he was DFA'd by the Nationals. He's back with the Braves, and his single helped tie it up. Sean Murphy ruins Diaz's first career W. Paul Sewald went from being perfect this year to blowing 3 consecutive saves. We head to the 11th. Both teams, they traded runs in the 10th inning. Ozuna, he scorched one in the 11th. I think that ball was hit 900 miles an hour. The relay throws weren't fast enough. Riley, he scores on the sac fly. Atlanta, they've lost 28 consecutive games when allowing 4+ runs, so the Diamondbacks, they're not out of it, but Joe Jimenez, he does break the curse. The bullpen, by the way, for the Braves went 6 hitless innings. Now, they did give up a few runs on a walk and a sac fly, but yeah, 6 hitless frames to end it. The Braves, they've won 3 games in a row. Corey Seager, that is 2 home runs and 5 RBIs over his last 48 hours. This one nearly took the seams off, 460 feet to dead center for his 17th home run. The Angels, they answered with 2 singles to put 2 on for Mickey Moniak, and look who tied it up. That is a 2-run triple. He's been awful with the batting average, but at least he's driving in runs. I think he has 21 RBIs over his last 43 starts. The Halos, they're winning now. They're giving Joe Adell and Mickey Moniak all the leash because their season's kind of over. They're just praying that they're both late bloomers like Byron Buxton. Now, is that how they lost the lead? They lost the lead on a balk. They did. Davis Daniel, his cleat got stuck on the bump. Langford, he scores, and then Nathaniel Lowe and his friends started spraying RBI singles all over the place. Lowe, he put the Rangers up out in front. Leote, he blooped in another. Marcus Semien, I think he's waking up. That's his second base hit of the game. That one drives in 2, so they're up 7-3. It's about to be 9-3. Seager, he smoked a double, and this Wyatt Langford kid is actually unreal. That one's over the bullpen. He's hitting .343 with 14 extra base hits, 24 RBIs, and 6 stolen bases over the last month since June 9th. The Rangers are 5-2 to begin July, but I do want to show one more quick highlight before we move on. Anthony Rendon, he was back in the lineup. He had an RBI later in the game. The last few years have been some of the most bleak of any former superstar I've ever seen, but before he got hurt, he was hitting .395 with a crazy .450 on base the 11 games prior to him pulling that hammy. I'm praying that he gets back to that because I just want an Angels bounce back. Just out of nowhere, Trout comes back, the pitching locks in, and I want them to finish 40 games over 500 in the second half. He had some moonshots to start this next game. Well, I say start in air quotes because they happen in the 4th and the 6th innings. Mitch Keller is basically Jacob deGrom versus the Mets. There's Lindor whiffing, and Brandon Nimmo, he looked at a painted sinker inside. There you go. Mitch Keller strikes out the side. That was a disgusting slurve, sweeper thing, slider. Now we're going to skip to the 3rd inning. Keller, he got some help from Rowdy Tellez, not just once, but he made 2 great defensive plays to get Keller out of the inning. So now it's the 4th inning. And remember, someone did go yard in the 4th. O'Neal Cruz. Good Lord, 431 feet. He's got 7 home runs over his last 24 starts. Brandon Nimmo, he nearly matched him. This guy is insane. His 2-run, 428-foot blast ties it. He has 14 home runs, and by the way, since 2018, he has a 133 OPS plus. That is disgusting. The rookie for the Mets, Christian Scott, he was great aside from that 2-run home run to O'Neal Cruz, and the bullpen only needed 1 out, but Reynolds, he took a walk. He eventually scored on an RBI infield single from Rowdy Tellez, of all people. Eric Osry, I think that's how you say his name. He's a rookie making his debut for the Mets. He did not retire a single batter. He's smiling and laughing as he comes off the bump, and I don't think that sat well with fans, even though he's probably just jazzed that he was making his first ever big league appearance. Adrian Hauser comes in, and he couldn't get anyone out either. 2 more score after Nick Gonzalez. He made it to 3rd, but he's credited with the double because there was a little error in the outfield. Nick then scores on a wild pitch, so it's 7-2. Things are getting ugly and fast, and yeah, there it goes. It gets even uglier. Joshua Palacios, yes, the brother of Richie Palacios, he ripped a home run, and Mitch Keller, he made some history. He's the 4th Pittsburgh Pirate pitcher ever to have 10 wins, 100 innings thrown, and 100 strikeouts before the All-Star break, and this is an interesting ending to the game. A young fan almost got in the way of Brian Reynolds ending it, but he does make the catch. He then gives the ball to him. That's it. All right, so just like we promised in the intro, we're going to go ahead and guess the pitcher and the hitter. I'm almost 99% positive I know who this is. I'm thinking this is Jordan. Hold on, my keyboard is dead. This has to be Jordan Montgomery or Sean Manaea. Okay, so it's the NL West. That's not Jordan Montgomery. Hold on. Okay, who's got the NL West? James Paxton. This has to be James Paxton. I was for sure thinking it was Mr. Montgomery, but it has to be, okay. We got the pitcher in 2 guesses. Hopefully, I can get the batter in just 1, and I'm pretty sure I know who it is. All right, so you guys can see the batter right here. This one is fairly straightforward. This is probably one of the easiest because the initial load is one of the more recognizable in baseball, especially for a righty. This is Alex Bregman of the Houston Astros. I want to do 1 more of each. So let's do 1 more batter and 1 more pitcher. And if you want to see more of this, let me know in the comments. They have a little archive button, so I'm going to go to the very first guessing of the pitcher. I know that right off the rip. That is Joe Musgrove. Okay, that was a little bit too easy. That's easy. Verdugo. That load is recognizable. Holy pause. But yes, that is Alex Verdugo. Well, hope that you guys enjoyed today's recap. I know it wasn't the longest one, but I can't control how many games there are in a day. But I appreciate you guys watching and enjoy the web gems.
Walker, what a play! Christian Walker may have just saved a run. The two-time Gold Glover.
Here's Reese Hines, Major League debut. Tovar Rock.
One hopper. Brocchio had it go in and out of the glove. And he still recovers.
Matt Olson going over there. There is enough room. Can he get there? What a play!